Hey, welcome everybody to the 40 Finance channel. 2022, it's been a rough year for most of us in the stock market. Even if you held the S&P 500, you are still down on the year. So finding the wins has been few and far between, but we might have just gotten a big win to close out the year. Seeking Alpha may have just saved Christmas with this incredible flash sale that they're having right now. So what's this sale all about? Well, if you sign up for Seeking Alpha Premium before January 3rd, you get an entire year of the service for $39. It's not $39 a month, that's $39 for the year. And if you watch the channel, you know that I've been pumped about the $99 sale. They've been running all of Q4, which is a phenomenal deal, also for 1 year. But then they just went ahead and beat that one. And at this point, at $39, I just don't see why anyone wouldn't try this service when you have other websites across the board charging, upwards of $99 a month for their stock market research platforms. Seeking Alpha has everything everybody else does and more. Give you a quick tour of the features that I use the most here. And if you're interested in helping support my small channel, my affiliate link is in the description. You do not need to use that link to take advantage of this sale, but it does help me with the small commission, so I very much appreciate it. And let me show you some of the top features I use, just a quick 3 or 4 minute tour of the platform and how it helps me research stocks. All right, right off the bat, we are here on the homepage. This is my logged in view of the homepage as a Seeking Alpha Premium member. And it's important to note that they also have an app. I'm an Android user. I use the app all the time on my phone, but it's just a lot easier for me to do this tour on desktop. But if you do sign up, make sure you download the app and log in on there because you can customize just about everything on the app just like you can here. And I'll tell you, one thing that's kind of stupidly simple, but it's probably my favorite part of this platform is if you look around all the things that are on the screen right now, it's nothing but information and news. There are no advertisements on here. There are people that sell additional services. So when you see this trending analysis, some of these folks that are writing opinions, they also sell monthly subscriptions to whatever stock picking services they have. I have not signed up for anybody's sort of additional stock services. I just use Seeking Alpha straight up as it is, out of the box, so to speak. But that's what you got over here is more or less opinions, and you can, and it's endless, right? You see articles like this Intel, the more it drops, the more I buy. If you go into here, you can see what this person has to say. This is Jen Alpha is the author. When they have this marketplace symbol, it means that that person is selling an additional subscription if you are interested in it. You don't need it to read their articles, okay? That's all part of a premium membership. But, when you get into these opinions, and what's kind of nice, instead of having to go through a mountain's worth of data, you got your bullet points right here. And since it is opinion, you can kind of see what you feel, is this going to be something for me just in these first few bullet points? But those are the opinions or the analysis. Over here is the more factual. This is probably where I spend the lion's share of my time, to be honest with you. And it's news. It's just news, but it is also news that is produced by the Seeking Alpha news team. So it's not, obviously they probably reference Associated Press or some of those feeds that come through, but it is all produced by their news team. And similar to what we saw with analysis, let's see what this one looks like. And you can see it comes from a Seeking Alpha news editor. There may be slight opinion in here, but for the most part, this is just regular talking about what the stock did, right? So Tesla peeled off another 4% in Friday trading. And then it goes on to talk about, perhaps why did that happen? And then some of these at the bottom, you get comments from other people. Comments, I know that probably sounds sort of silly, but Seeking Alpha comments, I feel like they're moderated pretty well. So it's just not people coming in saying stupid things about buy crypto and this and that, they usually read the article and have at least somewhat intelligent things to say about it. All right, so going back to this homepage, and just for fun here, let's take a look at a popular stock market website to kind of compare the difference. And when I talk about information, I'm an information numbers kind of guy. I don't need everything in some sort of graph for me to figure it out, right? I can read numbers and understand them. But if we go over here to this website, which is very, very popular, you can see what's on my screen. This advertisement takes up the first part of it. The site takes substantially longer to load than Seeking Alpha does. And when I do eventually get down here to sort of the meat of the homepage, well, let's see what our latest news is. Okay, you have Tyson Foods stock. You have 11 gifts under $25 that people will use. Got something about a Bill Gates nuclear project. Then we have Omicron boosters. Then we have a pro article that you have to be subscribed for. Anything down here? Avatar opens. Then you have another premium service. So the bottom line, and I see this a lot, and there's another big ad that's almost bigger than the whole site itself. This to me takes way too much thought in navigation to get through this. And quite honestly, I'm not so sure that the news on this site isn't skewed a certain way. Okay, whereas I'm not going to say that Seeking Alpha is 100% impartial. I don't want to make that claim without, having studied it more closely. But I will say that a lot of their news articles, unless here they're covering an opinion. Okay, so Seeking Alpha is not saying Apple likely to have a moonshot year. They're reporting this off of Evercore. And I would just say that, most of the time when they're reporting on numbers, those numbers, it's just very straightforward. Let's go to a stock page. So here's PayPal, which is a stock that I owned. And when we talk about 2022 for PayPal, you can see how that's gone for me. But here's a stock page, right? And it's the same thing, except it's broken out to PayPal. So you have the opinion pieces here. You have the news pieces here. And you see you have this notifications bell specifically for PayPal. On the stock page, you can put that in for a price or a rating. And you can select, do you want to receive that notification by email or do you want it to buzz in the app? It's up to you. I send a lot of these things to email because I don't want my phone buzzing all day with 6,000 updates. That's, just my personality. I don't want that. But what you get on this PayPal page that you're not going to find on a ton of other sites is just incredible depth of information. So you see across the top here, we have several categories. You have ratings, and within the ratings, you have Seeking Alpha's own quant score that gives a rating on PayPal, and it doesn't tell you how it calculated it, but it's got its 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grades that go into that. You also have the author's rating. When we were back on that main page, you saw when I was talking about the opinion pieces or the analysis, every time you write an article, an opinion piece, you have to say buy, hold, sell before you publish that article and it gets reviewed by an editor. So that's where this is coming from, essay author rating. Then, of course, you have Wall Street. And this, of course, is just an index of all the Wall Street analysts that are out there. PayPal is a big stock, so you got 47 updates in the past 90 days. They kind of break it down. And across all of these, you get the analyst rating history. Even the quant score shows you the history. You can see target versus actual price, ratings history, la-di-da, and then this recommendations, whatever this is, bar graph. The more green it is, obviously the more it's been recommended, and so on and so forth. So that's just one tab. Okay, so we have the home tab for PayPal, the ratings tab, financials, as you can imagine, breaks down everything. Look how far this goes back. Okay, December 2012. You stack all this stuff up against each other across, whatever, 10 years. Now, if I had to change one thing on the website, I would say put the latest information on the left for myself. But guess what? We can change that just with one click. All right, so I'd rather go backwards. That's whatever, the way my brain works. But you have adjustments for that. And within financials, you also get the balance sheet. You also get the cash flow metrics built right in here. You don't need to go to the separate PayPal investors place or investors relations page and download a bunch of information and figure it out yourself. It's right here. And it's very easy. It makes things a lot easier to research right off the bat, particularly when you're doing year-over-year comparisons. All right, next up is earnings. Similar to what you see on a lot of sites, they highlight the latest quarter, they highlight the upcoming quarter, what's estimated, EPS revisions, the number up and down. Then you get the bar graph down here that goes by quarters as far as expectations versus what actually happened. And then the look ahead. There's lots of look aheads in Seeking Alpha, a lot of forward PE, forward revenue, all that stuff, which is great for me because obviously when you're talking about stocks and you think about where we were this year, if you're looking at metrics from last year and you're saying, whoa, Google grew 35% last year. What a great year. That's already priced in, right? We need to kind of figure out where things are going in the future. And that's one thing that they really focus on is EPS estimates, revenue estimates going forward. All right, what else do we have? Dividends tab. If you're into dividends, PayPal doesn't have one. Valuation. So you've seen this on my show several times. This is a good source for measuring valuation. There's a couple things that I would change. Most notably, these grades are aligned very specifically to the sector. So the grade is based on the sector, not necessarily the competition, right? But I guess I had to pick it from somewhere. But you get to see let's go down to forward. PE non-GAAP forward for PayPal, 17. Sector median is 18. So they're, arguably 8.68% cheaper than the sector. And the 5-year average for PayPal, this is what I think is very helpful. 5-year average is 39. So the current forward non-GAAP PE is 55% below where it has been over the past 5 years on average. Super helpful, and we didn't have to calculate it. We just read it, and you get the same type of analysis across all these different numbers. So fantastic way to look and think about valuation. Growth, we talk about it all the time on here. Here's your growth grade. Again, relative to the sector. Revenue growth going forward for PayPal, estimated at 12.28%. Sector median, it is slightly below the sector median. PayPal 5-year average, 30% below. So when you think about what we just looked at, which was non-GAAP forward PE ratio, that's much lower than what PayPal has commanded in the past, and we kind of see why. All right, the other things we have on the stock page, you got profitability, okay? You've got momentum. If you're a momentum day trader, you can use some of these metrics. And then I really like this tab, which is the peers tab, and they put out some people here that are similar to PayPal, and you get to go through these metrics, whether it's ratings, what else do we have? Total return, dividends, valuation. This is what just one of the things that I look at. So when you have PE non-GAAP for fiscal year 1, we talked about PayPal about in the 17s. You can compare that Fiserv, ADP, I don't know what FIS is, but Square, 60.57. And maybe not everybody likes tables full of numbers like I do, but you can't ask for much more when it comes to stacking stocks up against each other. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can edit who's in this peer group. So if you just go up here to edit symbols, And let's just take out Fiserv, ADP. That was Fidelity was FIS. I couldn't remember who it was. And just for fun, I'll put an Apple on here. Then we just do compare, shrinks the chart, brings PayPal, Square, and Apple together across all of the different metrics. All right, the last thing I'm going to show you is how portfolios work here in Seeking Alpha. I don't know if you get an unlimited number of portfolios, but I've typed in at least 7 and haven't had any sort of warnings or anything. And you can connect these to your brokerage, okay? I believe they use Plaid. Let's see if this works. Loading. Yep, so Plaid will come up. So if you have any of the big dogs like Fidelity, just off the top of my head, anyone who's associated with Plaid, you basically got your one-click access to bring that portfolio information, including the number of holdings that you have, your gains and losses, your cost basis. That will all import into the system. But what's cool about the portfolio area, so I have built this one on QQQ Holdings, okay, because I talk about it all the time. It just has the top stocks in the QQQ, nothing really special. But what it allows me to do is take some of those same tabs we saw on the PayPal stock page, right? So if we talked about ratings, we can see author score, Wall Street score, quant score, and then the quant score broken out to these things. So you could basically come in here and say, across this portfolio, which stock has the best quant score? And right now, that would be T-Mobile and Google from Seeking Alpha perspective. On the Wall Street side, let's see if I got this sorted right. Google, Microsoft, Amazon have the most buy ratings. But we just stacked that up very quickly across all of the top holdings of the QQQ. We talked about valuation. So, you could sort this by lowest forward PE, just to pick an example, and it goes down the chart. And if you wanted to do lowest price to cash flow, right? A lot of people talk about price to cash flow. We just did that for the top stocks of the QQQ in about 30 seconds. And this heading goes on forever. So you want to talk about 1,000 ways to look at the same group of stocks. You have growth, okay, straight up growth rates, recent performance, momentum, profitability, ownership. It's all here, okay? So it's pretty impressive how much data you have at your fingertips. And once you set this up, I use the desktop version a lot because that's just who I am, and I'm more comfortable working on the laptop. I don't think I would set some of these things up on my phone, but if I had to, I could. All right, but once I've got this stuff set up, it imports all into the app, and then I have it at my fingertips. And one of the cool features for portfolios, so I'm in this QQQ Holdings, this little bell here. All right. So this is content alerts. So when you think about news, you think about the analysis/opinion pieces, which ones do you want to be notified of for which stocks? All right. So if you look at this one, the way I set it up, articles is the same thing as analysis. They should probably put analysis there. But I get news alerts for Apple, AMD, Costco, but I could also tick individual boxes here. It just depends on what I want. And if I want the whole thing, just click the top. You'll get every single article that hits Seeking Alpha based on any of these stocks will come to your email, okay? Or I have it set up in email, but if you look at this delivery tab, you can choose mobile, email, it doesn't matter. I don't turn on the mobile alerts for the reasons I've already shared, but I get every time Apple has a story published on Seeking Alpha, the headline comes to me in email, and if you're a premium subscriber, the entire content of the article is sitting in your inbox. You do not need to come over to read it on the site. Talk about a time saver. you know, this kind of service by itself, to me, is well worth $39. I paid more than that for this service. So, you know, it just depends on how much news and information you like to dissect. All in all, this is supposed to be a 5-minute walkthrough, and there's just so many things to look at on Seeking Alpha. This is the best stock research platform that I've ever used, and I've been through several of them in my time, and I'm very thankful to have found them. And obviously, as an affiliate, you know, I use it to support my channel as well. But if you watch my channel, you know that I'm using this thing every day. So if you're out there looking for a stock research platform for 2023, now is definitely the best time. $39 for 365 days of Seeking Alpha Premium. It's one of the best Christmas presents you can give yourself. You could give it as a gift, but I think in order to do that, they don't have an actual gift subscription. I think you have to sign up. If you want to do it as a surprise, let's just say for your father-in-law or something, you would sign up for it under your email. And if you're already a member, maybe you'd have to use a different email, a unique email. Get signed up, get everything paid for, and then on Christmas, you would switch the email, right? You go into the settings and switch it to whoever you're giving it to, switch it to their email, and maybe take a few minutes with them, sit by them, help them download the app, get logged in, and show them around. But it is a great gift, and for 39 bucks, I've gotten way worse gifts than this. All right, guys, we didn't get a lot of wins this year in the stock market, but maybe you can treat yourself to a Seeking Alpha Premium subscription while this flash sale is going on through January 3rd. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you on the next video.